Okay, today I'm gonna just shoot a single video on Maxxair install or Fantastic. This one just happened to be a Maxxair. So I've already got it pre-wired, and I've already got a wood frame. I see people all the time that just put the sheet metal screws right into the metal, and they don't have any supporting structure or anything, and I don't like that because that lets the ceiling move and you can potentially have leaks. I always, in everything, I put a wooden frame around it. That way, later on, if you decide you want to install a rooftop AC unit, you've already got a support structure there. It makes it a lot stronger. So let me go up on top and I'll show you what all I've got to do up there. Okay, he already has a ladder rack installed on here. Sorry about the wind. That's what the solar panels are going to be setting on. And because it was cold, the 4 screws I've got going down through the roof into that wooden structure just to hold that up so we could get the ceiling and everything in. So I'm going to be taking them out, drilling 4 pilot holes, and we'll get that cut out. Again, I'm sorry about the wind here. Since it's a nice day and the die-core will have time to set up, we're also going to drill the hole to put the gland in for the solar panel cables. So that way it can be sealed up. They're howling. It's supposed to get pretty cold toward the end of the week. So we're going to take advantage of this nice sunny day. Okay, we've got the hole cut, and that gives you a good idea how much insulation spray foam we put into the ceiling. And I've cut a channel for the solar panel cables to go down and go in behind the wall. So you still get them out, but they're not, an eyesore. I'm getting ready to paint the bare metal, let that dry as I work on the Maxxair fan. Okay, I have made a template for the Maxxair, the Fantastic fans. It's already got all the holes pre-drilled. That way I know exactly where they're at. And I'm just gonna line this up. I use this to make sure I have clearance if someone wants to put a fan somewhere where they've already got solar panels or already got a luggage rack or whatever, or a camper. I can make sure that there's room to clear it before I just cut the hole and you realize that you don't have room. These holes here, the 4 corners, I pre-drilled them from the bottom side because I already had the wooden frame, but it's not necessary with the template. You can find out exactly where you center it up and everything. I'll get the little holes and then I'll show you what I'm going to do from there. Now I'll put a screw in 2 corners. That way I don't have to worry about my template moving. I can drill the rest of the holes and know they're going to be spot on. And that way there's no guessing. I'm going to go ahead and drill the rest of the holes out. And then I'll take a pencil and just mark my line and then tape up to it. That way I don't scratch the paint to the roof. The small holes drilled to mount the fan in. I'm going to lay some tape down next to my line so whenever I use my jigsaw to cut this out, I don't scuff up the paint. Then after I get done, I will take some paint the edges, and then I will vacuum all the metal shavings off the roof. That way you don't leave the rust streaks and everything on top of it here. You want to do a nice job for either yourself or for someone else. Okay, I've got it all taped out. Try to get the camera set back up here. Got it all taped up. I'm getting ready to cut it out. I'm going to spare your ears and shut the camera off while I cut this out. I'm sure you've seen hundreds of other YouTubers cut a hole, and I've seen it as well, and I always fast forward through that. It's really not that interesting. So we'll be back. I just want to show you something here. I want you to be aware of if you're your electric wires are pre-wired, like mine are. Get it so I can get down in there. If you look right down in there, that's where the wires come through the wood. And if you're not aware or know where your wires come through at, you can easily cut them off, and then you're kind of screwed. Especially with this one where the interior is already finished. So just be really aware of where your wiring is ran at whenever you're cutting a hole like this, even with a window or anything. Just be real aware of where that's at. Okay, we've got the hole cut out. I just paint it with just some cheap spray paint. If it's sealed up good, you don't have to worry about rust. I make sure I put plenty of butyl tape to where it rolls in a little bit whenever I tighten it down. Then I cover all the screws and the edge and everything with Dicor. Okay, while the paint's drying up there for the fan, I went ahead and ran the cables through this gland. We're not hooking them up yet. I just want to get this Dicor set up while it's still relatively warm. I've got plenty of butyl tape around here because there's no spot up here on the Promaster that's on a ridge wide enough to put one of these glands. So I always put plenty of butyl tape. And we're just going to screw that down. I use stainless steel screws. That way we don't have to worry about them. And then after I get done, after I get the fan in, I will cover this whole thing with Dicor. That way there's no issue. I'll probably end up doing 2 coats. And we'll put a little extra butyl tape just to kind of fill the gaps on both sides. Because I don't want to put any more holes up here than I have to. I mean, I could put another screw here just to kind of help pull that down a little bit, but I would rather fill this with butyl tape and then cover it with Dicor. That way I know it's sealed in good. So let me get some butyl tape put in here, and then we'll move up to the fan. Okay, we got the ladder rack back on, got it fastened down. I've got the butyl tape around, get that all buttoned up. Now all I gotta do is cover it with Dicor, and then I have some large automotive tape that I'm going to cover this whole area. That way this can cure good without any moisture or anything. It is late February. They're hollering for it to get pretty cold, possibly a chance of snow. So I want to give that time to cure before I have to worry about anything like that. Okay, the paint's dry. I'm gonna go ahead and pull all my tape off, get it out of the way. I will trim this this wire wrap up, get it back out of the way. That way I can tuck all that inside the beauty ring whenever I put it in. I'd rather have way too much wire to start out with than not having enough. Then it's just a pain trying to deal with all the short ends and getting your fingers up in there. You guys need to tell me what all you'd like to see. And I know some people, they don't care to see me pull tape off. Some do. I just need some some guidance here. Because what I like to see on YouTube may not be what someone else likes to see. Alright, so we got all that out of the way. So let's cut this wire wrap back. That way it doesn't get caught up on anything. Now, I've had people tell me I put way too much butyl tape on there. I don't think there is a such thing as too much butyl tape when it comes to something like this in the roof of your vehicle. So I make sure I put plenty. That way whenever I tighten it down, it spreads out, makes a good seal. Same with the die-core. I've had people say that, you know, you don't want to put too much, that it makes it look ugly. If you're on the roof of my van, you know, I don't care what it looks like, as long as it's sealed good. Did I not drill that one? There we go. I want it to be sealed good. I don't have to worry about one of my customers or myself coming back and saying that they've got a leak. So far, out of all of them that I've installed, which is probably about 30, I've not had anyone say they've ever had a leak. And using a little bit extra butyl tape and die-core, I mean, you can always save a half a tube of die-core so long anyway. For this build here, between installing the fan and putting the die-core around the gland back here for the solar, I'll use a whole tube. That way I don't have to worry about it. That way it's good and solid, it's sealed. Here's a little trick too. If you take your short screws and go ahead and screw them in the flange here, you don't mix them up and you don't have to worry about trying to find them whenever you get ready. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that squishing out. Alright, let me go down and get a little bit longer screw for that one. Alright, we'll get this one back in here. Alright. Another little trick too is make sure you pull your wires out, because they're tied together in a bundle and shoved up in here. Once you get it down the hole, if you don't go ahead and pull that out, it's a little tricky getting it pulled through. And I always start with the ones to the back first, because you can't really push down on this lid too hard in the front, or I guess it'd be the back. So I'll get them first, then I'll go to the front screw. There we go, there's that. Now we'll put a little die core on here, and this project will be done. And I order my die core a case at a time, because I use a whole tube on one of these builds. Make sure you cover the screw heads good as well. Sorry about the train tracks. I'm used to it. I've lived here close to 20 years. Hell, a little over 20 years. So it has to be real loud for me to hear it. Those of you that haven't messed with die core, this looks like I'm just kind of throwing it on there and making a mess of it. I'll put a picture at the end here into this video after it's had 12 hours or so to level itself out. That's what's nice about this, is you don't have to, try to make it look pretty right now, because it'll find its own level. It'll fill in all the little voids, and you can already see it's starting to level itself out. So let's go back there and put some Dicor on that gland, and then we'll go inside. Okay, I went ahead and put the the ladder rack back on there. I'm going to cover this real good with Dicor, especially here on the front side for the driving rein, and this side over here, depending on how you're looking at it, because that's in the main rein channel. But I don't want to get too heavy on this side because I don't want it to block that channel very much. I still want the water to be able to run off the roof. There we go. I believe that we'll call that done. Got the screws covered, got the lip covered all the way around. That should be good and watertight. And I'll also throw a picture of this at the end after it's had about 12 to 24 hours to set up good. Now let's go inside and wire it up and put the beauty ring on. Okay, we're going to do the wiring here. Campers are set up a little bit different than automotive. On this one, black is the positive. So we're going to hook the black to the red and the white to the black. It's kind of confusing for some people, but that's the way they do it in campers, because it's more of a household application versus an automotive. And then we'll get the beauty ring on there, and we'll call this job finished, or this part of the job. This van's far from finished, but for only working on it 6 days, this makes the 6th day. I think we've done pretty good. The owner of this van is in there. He's polyurethaning the pocket door that I built. He's doing that right now. They're calling for rain tomorrow now. It was ice and snow. It has now changed to straight rain. So tomorrow we're going to be putting in the inverter and getting that all taken care of. I'm still waiting on a couple parts. That way I can set up the get ready to start building the cabinets. And I want to be able to do all the under bed work before I put the bed platform in. I will not be able to test this today because I do not have the batteries or anything in here yet. But I'm confident it'll work. We might even get the puck light put in tomorrow. They all came today. I'm still waiting on the switches, but you know, can't rush UPS as much as we would all like to. Now with this stuff these back up under here. That way they're in behind the beauty ring. And try to get them on the inside of this little lip here. Now when you put the ring in, it doesn't pinch it. And then to cut the beauty ring that goes on the inside, I just use a regular pair of 10 snips. You know, we'll kind of put it up in here and see how much we need to trim off. We need to take about 1 inch off of it, and then it'll fit just right. So let me get that trimmed up, and then we'll come back. Okay, we've got the ring trimmed down. Let's see how it fits now. There we go, like a glove. Get this screwed in. I'll show you where the solar cables come in. And I left this front, I cut it a little bit shorter because when I go to put this wall in here, because there's not much to fasten to up front, so when I go to put this wall in, it will push up on it a little bit and kind of help support this. There's going to be a wall behind the passenger seat, a wall behind the driver's seat next to the countertop. I think he's talking about maybe wanting a little sliding door here to separate, you know, right here next to the, let's see if I can turn you down here. Right here between the two seats, just to help hold in some of his heat or block out some of the heat in the summertime from all the windshield. And then let me turn you around here. As Camper Van Kevin would say, panning slowly, slowly. We've got the solar cables coming through here. I'm going to run them over, and then they'll run down the inside of this wall all the way down to under the bed, and that's where his inverter, his charge controller, fuse box, everything, even the batteries will be right here in this corner. That way they're easy accessible. On the last build that I did like this, there was I put the batteries up here in front of the wheel well. He has a Dometic refrigerator, so we're going to be putting the Dometic in the cabinet and being able to lift the countertop to be able to access the refrigerator. I think that'll be a good use of ordinarily regular wasted space. And then, you know, the pocket door, I've still got to cut this track up here off. but the pocket door will come to here. There'll be a little cabinet, and then the closet will be right here. And we're putting the same style bench right in front of the bed in. And the door, instead of the last one, like the gentleman wanted with the swing door, we're going to have this, the door folds down and makes his table area whenever he's sitting on the little bench. So that's something different. And then we also installed, this is a 12 volt plug, like a regular cigarette lighter plug. This one is a dual USB. That one's a dual USB. That one's a dual USB, but it also has a digital voltage gauge in it. So you'll be able to see what your batteries are at from anywhere in the van. So that's kind of nice. I think that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to go up and clean up my mess, vacuum the roof off so there's no rust tonight. I'm going to let the die-core set up for, well, until it gets dark, so probably about another 4 or 5 hours. Then I'm going to cover it with plastic. That way I don't have to worry about it, and he can still drive the van if he needs to. So that's all I got for this video. Like and subscribe. I appreciate everybody that takes the time to watch my videos. And if you need any work done on your van, feel free to look me up. It's under Red's Custom Design on Facebook, Instagram. You can also email me at redscustomdesign@outlook.com. If you need anything done, I'm free to work on campers, vans, buses. If you have a project you need some work, need some help on, or need someone to build it, feel free to look me up. Thank you.